Hi, so this is the week 4 Shapes of Land video. Just gonna start out with saying that this lesson doesn't give you a very good framework for the typical scientific method that we try to use. So in terms of a prediction and question and those things, you can get creative. Um, but I feel like it's more important that you get them writing in their journal so they can still do observations, they can still be taking notes, they can still be writing some kind of conclusion about like a new landform that they learned about that they didn't know about, something like that. Just get them, make sure they're still active and using their science journals, but don't get too bogged down if you can't really come up with a prediction or a question for this week. So into the lesson itself, you're going to be teaching them about a bunch of different types of landforms. You get to choose. I would say incorporate as many as you possibly can because they're already going to know quite a few of them. Try really hard to find some that they might not know. Usually peninsula is a good one, or like isthmus, which they're fun little landforms, ones that they might not have heard of before. Also, if you have a multilingual classroom, majority of my students speak Spanish at home. Um, Make sure to incorporate the Spanish vocabulary as well as the English vocabulary to really tie that to something that they might not have realized that they knew because they knew the Spanish or they knew the French or whatever language your classroom is speaking. But just make sure that you're trying to incorporate Spanish vocab as much as you can, even if you don't speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I make it a point to include those vocab words in my lessons as much as possible. So, moving on to the visual part of the lesson, PowerPoints are great for this, videos are great for this. Show them a lot of pictures of different landforms. Just really get them visually stimulated so they're excited. And then when you actually get into the activity, these kids are so creative. Like just let them do their thing. First and foremost, don't make your own Play-Doh. Don't try to make your own Play-Doh. I know there's a recipe for making your own clay/Play-Doh thing. Don't do it. Just pick up some Play-Doh from the nucleus. It's going to make your life a heck of a lot easier, and you're going to thank yourself later. So just pick up normal Play-Doh. And then when they go into the activity, I found that it's helpful at first if you assign them a landform to create, and then you have them in little groups and they make a scene with all of their landforms. And then after they do the one that you ask them to do, then let them be creative. Let them build their own scene. They'll get really excited. They love Play-Doh. They know exactly what they're doing. I've had students build like very elaborate like palm trees and mountains and rivers and all this stuff going on. They know what these things are, so like let them explore, let them like use their creativity to build something really great. I would say, yeah, as long as you can just incorporate it into real life examples as much as possible. The point of this activity and this lesson is to just introduce them to a bunch of different landforms and like what that means in terms of like, oh, the earth has geology and geography, topography, whatever, has different things. And we care about that because these existed before humans did, right? So we care about learning about like why trees are in a certain place, why mountains exist. They're probably going to ask you how mountains formed. Make sure you know that. Make sure you understand like what islands are and what volcanoes are and all those different things. What formed rivers? Why do lakes exist? A lot of that has to do with icebergs. Maybe show them a picture of an iceberg, because if this is for Southern California, and most of them haven't seen an iceberg. But I would say for the activity itself, a good way to tell if they truly understood the lesson was to have them create their own scene and then explain it to you. Make sure they know the different pieces that they're putting in there and can like kind of tell a story, and that's going to be, and the more creative the better, because that means that they're bringing it all in. They're incorporating a lot of different things. This isn't a super experiment heavy at all. It's just introducing them to a new idea, hopefully, and letting them explore with different types of landforms. They're gonna have a lot of fun with this lesson, so just embrace that and enjoy it, because this is one of the really fun lessons.